Hi, guys. My name is Steve B. Coming to you today on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon to talk about staying sober for today. I got a little topic. It's actually in recovery. It's a pretty big topic. But what I want to do is I want to talk to you today about sponsors and sponsorship. And I can give you a little bit about my my dealing with it, and I could also tell you about people that I had for sponsors, and in the beginning of recovery, I think they're deadly important. I think they're so important to recovery because it's somebody that you can talk to. It's somebody that you can share with when things are bothering you. Um, I I don't know. I have mixed feelings about sponsorship. I think they're important in the beginning of recovery. I really do. Uh, our literature, the literature in recovery doesn't mention anything about sponsorship. There are some pamphlets and stuff that do talk about it, but as far as our main text and other literature, it doesn't talk about sponsorship. It adheres to it. I mean, there are little hints that it's important, and I 100% agree that it's important, especially in the beginning of recovery. Um, I my experience with it is very good, because in the beginning of recovery, at least, and I think this goes for a lot of people, but goes for me also. I I don't have a lot of I don't have any experience. When I came in, I was kind of like that, like I didn't know nothing. I had to learn little by little by little by little by little. And I might know a lot of stuff today, but that's from being in recovery for 32 and a half years, coming here and not drinking, and experiencing various things and going through stuff. And yeah, you know, when I first came into recovery, I had a guy that he was probably my best friend in recovery, my oldest at least. I know him longer than anybody. And all the meetings I used to go to, he was there. And I took advantage of that. I got close to him. I talked to him a lot. I learned. I listened to learn, and learned to listen. It's something I wasn't very good at, but after being around for so long here and going to a lot of meetings, I'm better at listening. I'll put it that way. I can use help in that area a little bit, but I'm much better than I was. I came when I did come. I listened a lot because I didn't want to share a lot. If they call on me, I'd be like freaking nervous wreck. It'd be like I don't know what to say in front of all these people. So I would just like kind of make stuff up in a sense, and making stuff up isn't how it works. It doesn't work that way. You got to share from your heart, and I tell everybody that. I tell people that if you share from your heart, you're not going to go wrong. And I think I always shared from my heart. I was always as sincere as I could be. I don't make stuff up, but I used to think, oh, what could I say? What could I say that people are going to like to hear? Well, you know what? You say what's on your heart. You say what's on your heart, and then the right people are going to hear it, and you're gonna take it and maybe learn from it. Maybe I say, because the only thing I actually have to give is my own experience, strength, and hope. But yeah, there was the guy I never formally asked to be my sponsor, but he was at all the meetings I was at, all of them, and I kind of copied him. I did if he did something, I did something. If he went to get someone a coffee, I would ask him, "Do you want a coffee?" Hold the door, pull their chair for them. Whatever they needed, and I'll tell you that's 12-step work at its best. But as far as some of my other sponsors, I went through a period where I had a bunch of them. I had like four or five, and it was like, I don't know, I was collecting them like shells on a seashore. But I didn't know use them all that way. I didn't use them all that way, but I did. I called a bunch of them, and I used to, share what was going on in my life, and just a touch base. They used to say in the beginning, because I was not a phone person, but in the beginning, I tried to be a phone person. They used to say, yeah, pick up that 200-pound phone and make a phone call. And what do you say? Well, just say, hi, my name is blah blah blah, and I'm having a decent day, or not having a great day, or I'm just calling to touch base with you. That was the one that always clicked with me. The one that I always liked the best, the one I use the most. I'm just calling to touch base, and many times they would say to me, "Well, your call means more to me than you know, or you're helping me more than I'm helping you." Well, you're actually helping each other. When you get off your dump and call someone and touch base one line to another, one guy to another. Oh, I'm a guy, so I will call guys. You know, it would be like a beautiful thing, and it got me out of myself. It got me so I'm not all alone. Cause I think that that's the thing that strikes alcoholics more than anything is, they call it a disease of the lonely. And I sometimes, like I said, going on 33 years sober, and sometimes I feel like I'm all alone. And but I could change that anytime. I could pick up the phone. I could talk to somebody if I really want to, and I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. Um, I'm glad to come to you guys today. It's a beautiful day. So far, it's like the most beautiful. The days are getting better and better. We had a rain streak where it was just raining every day, or cloudy, cold, and rainy. Yeah, not a good combination for an outdoor meeting. But today it's all sun, um, beautiful. I'm wearing a sports shirt. I got shorts on. It don't get better than this. It's as good as it gets. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I prefer the sunshine over the rain. I mean, not that the rain is bad. God knows what we need, and He knows when we need it. But yeah, talking about sponsors, yeah, I've used some to talk about my problems. I had family issues that were horrid, horrible, and they took a lot of fourth and fifth steps and a lot of talking to sponsors, a lot of unloading stuff that I don't need to hang on to anymore. You know, it's I could honestly tell you that, like, it is the sponsors there to talk to and to share. I'll tell you, I got a guy who asked me to sponsor him, and I talked about this in some of the things, and I'm sponsoring like three people now, and one of the guys is I got to tell you, it doesn't make me feel good. All of a sudden, he's not showing up at the park anymore. He's not coming to the park meetings anymore, and he was in dire straits with his wife. He said if he drinks again, man, he's going to be out on his ass. And he nearly was last time, and now I guess he feels safe, or like he's not in danger of drinking anymore. But for a newcomer, uh, I would say saturate your freaking day with meetings. I don't care what your wife says. You talk to her and say, "Look, if I don't go to meetings, I'm gonna die." And what do they say? To drink is to die. And unfortunately, that could be the path he's going. I don't know. Only God knows. I don't wish him any harm. I hope he finds sobriety, but But I can honestly say that, I can honestly say that if he continues down a path and he don't go to meetings and he could suck up to his wife all he wants. He could suck up to her every bit, morning to night, and it's not going to keep him sober. Going to meetings keeps you sober. Talking to another alcoholic keeps you sober. And the guy he was heading toward a drink again, and every time he shared just about his, I go by my son's room because his son lives in his house, and he's got a stocked bar. He's got a bar in his room, and he says he goes by that room and he peeks in it every day. All I can say is good luck. If you don't go to meetings, you're probably going to get drunk again. If you don't talk to other alcoholics, you're probably going to get drunk again. Um, and that gave me the idea to talk about sponsorship today, because I used it, and I used it. I even ran away to Maine for a year, and I got a sponsor up there. I got a sponsor up there. It was a restaurant owner or whatever, and they used to call him Captain Bruce, and he was really interesting guy to listen to in meetings. And I called him. I called him a number of times. You know, I think they're very important in the beginning. And if you don't pick up the phone, you don't go to meetings, you don't share. I don't care how much you want to suck up to your wife to make her better, put her back on your side. It doesn't matter. I was afraid this would happen, like, because he was doing very well. He was coming to walk with me for an hour, and then he was coming to the meeting for an hour, and I think that's a twofer. I call that a twofer meeting. Going to a couple, and and he was doing very well, but he's kind of MIA. He's gone, and I'm the kind of sponsor that I am not going to chase anybody down. I don't do that. I won't do that today. I won't do that ever. I'm not going to chase people. I don't do that. I didn't sign up for that. I had to look. Sometimes when it's the timer's in the shade, I can't tell what's going on. But anyway, that's my little rant for today, and I thought I'd share it with you because that's my opinion. And like I say, I don't know. I've heard people say this, so I say it kind of frequently now. Um, if you want what I have, you have to do what I do. And sucking up to your wife and doing her honeydew list or whatever ain't gonna cut it. That doesn't cut it, man. That ain't gonna keep you sober, you know. And I don't know. I think the guy's in a dangerous place. If he calls me, I'm gonna tell him, "Are you going to meetings?" And if he says no, I'm gonna say, "You're in a dangerous place. You're probably gonna drink again because you do that in love. You do it to help their ass. You don't do it to piss them off. You do it to help them." And unfortunately, this dude's he's on a bad path right now. And if he calls me or if he shows up here at the park, I'm gonna tell him so, because I could see it. I mean, I didn't get sober by accident. I got sober by going to a lot of meetings, talking to a lot of people, sharing my experience, strength, and hope with others. Um, Seeing another alcoholic every day, praying a lot, praying a lot. I didn't do this on my own. I didn't get sober on my own. You know, I used to think I was. I used to think, wow, I'm doing this on my own. What a fan freaking tastic thing. But honestly, I'm not doing it on my own. I've never been doing it on my own. Um, this is God. This is God's stuff, and it doesn't help, by sucking up to your wife or family or whatever, doing anything they ask you to do. I used to have people say, "What are you going to another meeting for?" I'm going to another meeting to save my ass, because that's what's keeping me sober. And honestly, for the longest time, I used to think it was me, but it isn't me. Um, anyway, guys, I'm glad to come to you. Give me a like and subscribe. And please leave a comment if you want. Love you. God bless.